So hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today's video I'm back to ruin your entire day, because in this video I'm gonna tell you how you can ruin your entire flash drive with your image files basically. Anyway guys, let's back to the topic. So when you want to copy or let's say make a USB flash drive bootable, you are essentially just saying that, hey, I have this bootable ISO file of my operating system and I just want to copy this to my USB drive. Now you can directly copy this. You can't use CP and path to your USB drive to your flash drive. No, it won't work because CP is used to copy files, but it needs a file system, by the way. So yeah, you can directly use CP. So for that, you want to always make a file system on your USB flash drive. So for making that, firstly we want to identify our USB flash drive. You can use the lsblk. This is the most common command on Linux system. This is used to get the information of your devices from /dev. If you don't know that direct roles access, by the way, on Linux systems, you can just see that, hey, this is a SDA which have the file size of 57.3 GB. It means it's my USB flash drive. Yours can differ. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make this bootable. So it's if it's SDA, then it's dev slash, and then you wanna write these names. For example, mine is SDA, so dev slash SDA is a device, and this is pretty common. This is pretty cool. Your permission is denied. Okay. Now, first, what do you want to do? You just always want to unmount everything from your dev slash SDA. So in my case, it's dev slash SDA, and I'm going to run umount command. This is used to say, hey, we want to unmount everything from the dev slash SDA, and we'll just use this, okay? And star is used to that, hey, we wanna unmount everything if anything is mounted, and if you can see nothing is mounted, so we're just pretty cool, okay? And I just tell you this because a lot of guys will panic, hey, what the hell, my USB drive is inaccessible. So you can actually reboot the system, it will still accessible, but you can just unmount it, guys, so no need to reboot your entire system. Now, next thing you want to do, you want to format your drive and make a file system there, and for that in Linux there's a single command which is mkfs.ext4. Now who the hell don't know this command? This is really a cool command. It can make your USB drive bootable on the same way destroy your USB drive. So anyway, let's give it sudo because we want to access a sudo privilege USB drive. As you guys can already see, if you just write that last year permission is denied, so I'm using sudo because I want to give them mkfs.ext4 permission to make the file system here. Now once that is done, the format is just sudo mkfs.ext4 and the path to your USB drive. In my case it's dev slash SDA. You can differ, you may be SDB, SDC, or even NVMe. It depends on what your USB flash drive hardware is, okay? Now you can just hit enter, okay, and then password, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 9 10. That's it. Minus this, yours may differ. Of course, guys, those that just lose password, mine is also different. I was just kidding. Okay. Now, what you want to, if it asks you something like this, what you can just say why, but be sure that your USB drive don't have anything sensitive, because this will erase everything on the drive. Okay, so I'm just going to press Y. And yeah, you can also return if you know, hey, my flash drive is not the correct one. You can just say N and just leave, or you can press Ctrl C. Now you can see we have really juicy USB flash drive. Cool, isn't it? You can also use it on the Linux system, by the way. Now once that is done, we can clear the console with the clear command, and this is the time to copy the content. Now you can actually use CP right now because what I just told you on the starting of the video, CP can copy anything, but it needs the file system. But I'm not going to do this because, guys, an ISO file, let me just show you this like this, okay? This will be a lot better. I'm just going to show you that this in a graph, okay? Don't worry, you don't need to open stuff like this. Now, this is your, let's say, USB, not USB. This is your ISO image file, which you just want to copy to your USB flash drive and want to make it bootable. Well, in that case, what you really need, you need to just copy the content of this to this. But that's not simple because this ISO file can contain a file system, and that file system can contain partitions, partition 1, partition 2, and partition 3, or so on and on. That just don't matter, that matters on the ISO file. For instance, the Arch Linux ISO usually contains 2 partitions, but some distributions may have 3 or even 4 partitions. So what's the problem here then? Can we use CP? Of course you can use CP, but there's an exception. You also will need to make this P1, P2 and P3 manually on your USB flash drive file system. Then you can say, hey, I wanna copy the content from the ISO file P1 partition to the P1 partition of this USB flash drive. And similarly, I wanna copy the content from the P2 partitions and wanna paste it to the P2 partition of the USB flash drive. You need to do this, and this is a really long process. You will be mostly frustrated from doing this because a lot of you guys will leave G-parted after this. You are just smart, okay? But don't use this because this is not reliable. Even a single byte can affect your entire flash drive. So don't waste your time in using CP. What you can instead do, you can just say, hey, I'm not gonna use CP. I'm gonna just use a command which can copy everything for me, including partitions, okay? And that command is your dd command. Now, a lot of you guys want to know what dd is. Dd is basically it's basically the user land command, which comes with the GNU's basic shell utilities. Also, yeah, that's just available in everything. Now I'm not gonna go in depth, okay? What this command exactly does, dd says, hey, you wanna copy the ISO file, give it to me. I will copy all the content, including partitions, to your USB flash drive. And then you can unplug your USB flash drive to boot your PC, and that will be crazy enough, okay? That's just what dd does, because it just says, hey, I wanna just copy every single byte, and every single byte also contains your file system. So you can just use dd to copy everything to your USB flash drive. You don't need to just say deal with the, hey, I wanna make P1, I wanna make P2, I wanna make P3. dd will handle everything for you, every single thing. And that's why I'm just saying, hey, you can use dd, but don't use dd for Windows bootable USBs. Because in the Windows, what I just told you, you need to make the partitions manually, and then you can copy the content from here to here. dd just don't work for Windows, but you can use this for any Linux distribution and virtually any other operating system, except for some like Windows, okay? Now, for using dd, what's the syntax? Firstly, you will need to use sudo because we want to access /dev/sd. Of course, we will use sudo. And then we will say, hey, I want to use dd command, and then dd needs only 2 things. First is input file, and second is output file. The input file is the file source which dd will copy, and the output file will be the location where dd will paste it, because you also need to tell, hey, this dd, this is my ISO file, you need to take it, and this is my USB flash drive, you want to paste it. That's it. That's it. dd is good, you are good, you are done. So what you will say? You will say, hey, if. Now this if is not if of programming, it's for input file. Here I stand for input and f is equals to file. So now you use this if to tell dd, hey, this is my input file, and then you say is equals to means you are specifying something to if, and dd will understand this, okay? Then you can just give the path to your ISO file. In my case, I want to copy this Arch Linux ISO because, guys, I am an Arch user, by the way, so why won't I flex my skills? I will just copy this and paste it right here, and then of course I'm just pasting paths to my ISO, guys. You will need to just paste the path to your ISO. No, nothing super fancy right here, and a lot of you guys who are getting some errors like string errors, you can just use these string codes. nothing will be super crazy. If your file name has spaces, use these string codes. These won't break your flow, okay? Now, once we have done input file, you will need to tell DD what's the output file. Now guess what we're going to write. Of course, OF because O for output and F for file. So we're just gonna say OF, and similarly is equals to, and you can also use this, but I'm not gonna use this because my dev classes here don't have any kind of spaces, so of course I'm just gonna have to write this similarly. You can also use some string codes that just don't matter. So that's just a string, okay? Then okay, now why I wrote here dev/sta, because don't be confused guys, I am again telling you, we gave it the input file with if. Now we need to give it the output file, which is our OF file, okay? And the output file is our USB flash drive for right now. So that's why I give the path to my USB flash drive, which is dev/sda. You can also use this to copy your ISO file into another ISO file, or even just make the image file of your old operating system. If it's bootable, of course, it will be bootable. Okay, once we are done, we can just hit enter. To be honest, we can easily hit enter here, but I'm gonna stop you for a little while because there is two little steps you can do. Of course, you can still press enter and continue with the process. There's just nothing. This is the last command, okay? But just two few little tweaks will enhance your DD experience. First thing is, let me show you. When you are copying your ISO, by default, DD copies a certain amount of content per second, and which is, in my opinion, I guess it's 0.5 MB or something like that. I may be completely wrong, but what I know is 0.5 megabytes. You can correct me in comment section if this is wrong. So yeah, I am always ready to be corrected by you guys. Okay, now, so it may be anything. I'm just letting it 0.5 megabytes. So yeah, what this means that DD will copy every 0.5 megabytes per second on every single iteration. Iteration means data from this to this. Once it's copied, it's called one iteration, and once it's done 2 times, it's called 2 iterations. That is it. So how much data DD copies per iteration is called the block size, and by default the default block size is 0.5, I guess. Now you can give the higher value, so DD will copy much faster, but don't go over 1 megabytes, because guys, 1 megabytes is enough for most USB flash drive, even the USB 3 flash drives, okay? But something like 2 or 4 will just enhance your not enhance but increase your speed, okay? Not decrease your speed, not increase. Of course it will decrease. So we're also going to use 1 because 4 will cook your USB flash drive. It will really burn, to be honest. You can touch your USB flash drive, it will be burning. So for that we use just 1, because 1 is really a sweet spot. So that's why we say BS is equals to 1. BS means block size, and that's 1. This is completely optional again, guys. If you understood till here, you can just continue by pressing enter. But block size really helps you a lot. Now, we just specified 1, but we also wanted to say M, because M stands for 1 megabytes, okay? 1 megabits per second. Not per second, but per iteration. Alright. Now, if I just press enter, will it work? Of course it will work. It will even work if I just don't specify this BS is equals to 1M. But it's recommended to specify this because it's really good command. Now, last thing is, by default, DD don't show you anything, and I know you guys are those who just always want to see the downloads progress of your browsing history. So that's why, if you want to see that in DD, there's a single command. You can just say, hey, status is equals to progress. What the hell this thing is? Well, if you don't include this, basically as you were telling, hey DD, you always wanted to show me the progress of each step, like where you are, how much data you have copied. Just show me on the terminal. And if you don't use this, DD will say, hey, I just want to scam you. I just don't want to show you any kind of data. I just want to copy my stuff, and that's it. So if you don't use this, DD won't show you anything. But if you use this, then DD will show you every step. every kind of information for how much it has copied and how much is left to copy, and that's just it. That's just progress, okay? That's just progress of everything, so that's fine. Now you can just press finally enter, because there is nothing extra you need to do. You can find some more flags, but you don't need to use them. You can just hit enter, and it will ask for password. You can just specify your weak password. Not of course, guys. Use a strong password. It's of course the best practice you can ever do. And I have also written the wrong password 2 times. If I run this final time, oh wait, it's done, I guess. Yeah, it's doing. And by the way, sometimes it bugs. Okay, sometimes it bugs. My statistical progress didn't run, but a lot of you guys will have this running perfectly fine. Mine is just hidden. Okay, sometimes it happens. But anyway, guys, whenever DD will finish the copying content of ISO, this process will finish. And once this is done, you can just remove your USB flash drive and plug it anywhere you want, and you can install any kind of operating system you may want to install. Okay, and let me just assure you, sometimes it bugs. Okay, my time it's really bugged, and to be honest, it happens to me a lot. Now you guys can clearly see it's done, and you can clearly see this is now the name of Arch Linux, and that's how you usually do for the Linux ISOs. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Now go ahead and unplug your USB drive like me. I'm just gonna show you. Okay, I have unplugged it. Now it's no longer plugged in my system. As you guys can see, it's gone. And I can make it, and I can just plug it, and I will boot from the live Arch Linux ISO. Now I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you like. No, don't like and subscribe, because this is a gaming channel. This is not a Linux channel. Of course, it's a gaming channel. You may subscribe to your Linux gurus, but to be honest, this is a gaming channel. Nothing super crazy. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will meet you in another video, hopefully. Bye bye for that time. And hopefully my channel will also become a dead channel after a while. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope. Okay, now I'm just gonna leave.